This is like the movie. Shit, City of Angels? Is that what that movie was? Except Meg Ryan doesn't get killed by a truck. Just all of her friends get injured. This is what's happening. What do we do? Do we start talking about the cool Bills Pittsburgh game, or do we just start doing chin-ups so we can play cornerback for the Bills? I don't know what to do here. It's in the hunt, and we're still in the hunt. And Sean Murphy
No.
and Kyle Turner are going to talk.
I think if you need me to cover the flats, I think I can do it. If
Mm.
you just give me a little radius and
Hmm.
not much else,
That's
I
what I
think I can
said.
cover the flats. And if only if like Mike Tolbert is the running back going
Yeah.
out to the flats, I think I can handle that.
I
You
don't think
better
you.
you better break up that pass before he catches it because you're not tackling
Yeah.
him. You better get an arm in there. Hold him if you have to. That's what I said. If everyone else on the Bills does their job and I'm the 11th man, I can defend that like cornerback region.
Just the
No.
flats though, where I just have to
Yeah.
shuffle to my right,
Yeah.
probably not my left, but if I can shuffle to my right and that's it, I don't got to drop back a couple yards. I think I can handle my own.
I'm picturing I'm playing right cornerback for the Bills, like I'm on the right side of the field, and whoever's over there, Scantlin, whatever, Rice, whatever Casey receiver's there, I give him a 30-yard cushion, and as soon as the ball snapped, I just start running back toward the other end zone, but he still like blows by me and catches a 75-yard touchdown bomb. That's how
Stiff
that would
arms you
go.
on his way in. You're like, no, 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 get away, get away, get away.
I'm just trying to run my fast. Give him a 30-yard cushion. So I start at the 55 or the 45 the other way. Just start running as fast as I can toward the end zone just to be there as he's catching the ball by me. That would be so much fun. Why don't we let make that happen?
Well, I think we should get into talking about this game. You both went. Greg, you went.
Amazingly.
The
Yeah.
last time you went to a game, it was the Steelers, right? And we lost, and you
Hmm.
spit in the face of history.
I didn't think about that. Like someone asked me the last game I was at, and I was like, it was that last terrible Steeler game. Not even the last time they played them, but that
Wait,
one, the season opener one.
Yeah.
what do you, oh, that was the last game you went to?
Yeah, I don't get there a lot. I don't want to. I don't know what like
Moneybags Kyle over there is like,
yeah.
that's the last game you went to. I go to every game, sit on the 50-yard line.
I swear you were at like a Patriots game. I didn't know. I mean, that Pittsburgh
Maybe I
game was like
was.
3 years ago.
Yeah, maybe I was, but maybe I wasn't. Was that pre-COVID or after COVID? 13 seconds was after COVID because that was the year of 13 seconds was the Steeler opener. Boy, this game was good though. This game was good. I
Well,
mean,
should we
right
talk?
off the bat,
There
yeah.
are two boner candidates,
Hmm.
which we should talk about: the Allen run and the Shakir play.
Three from my perspective, but go ahead.
Oh, what was the third?
The third one was he was looking at me through binoculars.
Mhm. It wasn't being at the game, and we could talk a little bit about this. I know Kyle's there all the time. Uh, I was just like, this was a dumb decision. I was sitting in a pile of snow immediately because the game started as good as it did. I was like, this is the best decision I've ever made in my. That was so much fun watching people throw the snow up in the air. That's the coolest thing in person. Like just that was
Mhm.
fun. And walking up to the stadium, the amount of people that sold their tickets to Steeler fans, I was kind of like, I did my duty to this country to like come here and not be wearing a
Yeah,
Steelers
man.
uniform. And they were all talking shit, and it was really, really cool that they just immediately stopped talking shit. So that was
Kyle
fun.
had,
But
I
the
remember
other,
this point Kyle made a couple years ago, weeks ago, where it was like a traveling fan base. I think the Steelers, maybe the last time we played the Steelers, was like, you're gonna come to a game when you're like this record, when you're starting quarterbacks like Mason Rudolph, and
yeah.
you're gonna talk shit. Like, I'm not saying don't go to the game, but to go in with this bravado of like, come on, how blessed of a fan base are you that you're like, no, we got a shot. Mason Rudolph, he'll click it on. It's like, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
my face.
I said that to a guy walking up, like you had a long walk to the stadium, obviously, and I'm there, and I had come straight from work, so I didn't tailgate or anything, but there was it was like a group of Bills fans and Steelers fans together, and the one guy was giving away beer. So I grabbed a beer for like my 20-minute walk up, and and he was like, get ready for a long day. He's wearing like a TJ Watt jersey. He's like, here you go, whatever, get ready for a long day. He throws in there like all cocky, like I was like, really? You're like that's a lot of courage for Mason Rudolph. Like, that's fine. We can talk like after the game. Let's hook up and have another beer. But I don't think you're gonna solve it. Not with Mason Rudolph. No. How do you get that confident over Mason Rudolph? I would be begging forgiveness from Bills
I think
fans.
6 Super Bowls. I think if we win six
Yeah.
Super Bowls, we get Tyler Thigpen's in there. We're like, all right, it's Thig time. Here we go.
Yeah,
Like,
you got to remember, Pittsburgh fans are the same as New England fans. They don't know what it's like to be bad. Well, I guess New England does now, but like Pittsburgh has the same thing. What is Mike Tomlin 17 winning seasons in a row or something like? So they don't care who's at quarterback. They just assume they're going to win the Super Bowl. Whereas we have arguably the best quarterback in the league, and we assume they're not going to win the
yeah.
Super Bowl. Whereas Pittsburgh's delusional enough, and maybe rightfully so, when you're good forever, you just go, yeah, we'll just be good. Why can't we make a run?
Greg,
The
did you say
Allen
your
run,
third?
obviously. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
Did you
Sean.
say your third boner play?
I didn't, and it had a lot to do with the perspective, but the Elam interception. I
Mm.
noticed him in the game. I didn't even know Benford was injured. I just didn't, that got by me. And I saw him in on one play. I was like, oh, Elam's in. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, he's in this play too. Oh, he just got ran over. Oh, that's a pass interference. Oh my God, we're going to lose this game. And then that interception. The weird thing about the interception was there's almost no reaction to it, not by the team. It was so subdued. I didn't believe it was going to count
Man,
until the Bills snapped the ball for their first down going the other way.
that's
But
so
I was
spot on.
screaming. I was like, "Oh my God, he caught that pass!" And like the replays, he stayed in bounds. It didn't seem possible that that was an
Yeah.
interception, and it was.
Now,
Yeah.
do you think that's possibly because it was Elam and everyone was like, "Nah, no chance."
I think that's exactly what
Somehow
happened.
he caught that ball for an interception, and the refs are going to be like, "That's a touchdown." If you catch the ball in the end zone, regardless, it's the team's touchdown.
The
CJ.
that was nice to see because he was, as you said, getting picked on, had the interception, and then settled into what seemed like a nice game. You didn't hear his number for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
It was nice.
yeah. But I mean, the Allen run. You mentioned it. We have the best quarterback in the NFL. We have to. That run was just friggin' amazing. What
Yeah,
a moment. That was just so cool. So hard to top that for play.
Yeah,
Even though Allen said the other one, the
Shakir.
Shakir touchdown was his play of the game, but
yeah. Did
amazing.
he say boner play of the game?
He said my boner play of the game. Then he asked 3 trivia questions to the reporter,
And then he said,
and
shout out to In the Hunt.
he
I'm
said,
signing up for the dollar Patreon to get that Bills erotica from Greg.
"Oh yeah, that's in the works." Then he
Guido.
said hello to everyone in Paraguay. Very high.
So right before that run, and this is going to be the greatest shout out in the history of In the Hunt for
Whoa.
Lou.
Oh, okay.
Right before that, I mean, literally, Allen's, reading the defense, and Lou leans over and goes, he's about to get a 54-yard touchdown run.
Wow.
That play.
Wow.
And then he did it, and Lou fell over. So I don't know if that was a mixture of the beer and the snow and it was slippery, but correct call. I've never seen that. Everyone always does that. Everyone's like, bomb to Diggs right here. And then it's like a 2-yard run with Ty Johnson. And you're like, yeah, it would have been fun though. He right before he goes, this is going to be a 54-yard touchdown run by Allen. Fucking done. Did it. They
I don't
tried like
remember.
9 other times after that, but
Yeah.
it didn't work. But the fact that he got the one, pretty cool.
I don't
Uh,
remember. Was that a designed run or was that a scramble?
I have no
I,
idea.
I
Doesn't
think
really matter.
I thought it was designed, but you know what's another sneaky Bone Town is I really liked Diggs drinking from the Steelers Gatorade
Yeah.
bottle.
I saw
That's
that.
fun.
Rick saw it happening as it happened. He's grabbing the water bottle. That was our vantage point to that. So,
Yeah, this is how lame the NFL is. I saw that was on the side of the field I sit. So I saw him grab that, and there were two refs on the sidelines. And I was like, oh, fuck.
yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
throw a flag. Like
Yeah.
immediately, I was like, not having fun. I go, he just got a first down. Now they're going to literally just bump us back to exactly where we were, and we're fucked, and we're going to lose the game, and the
Yep.
Super Bowl run is over. Like my brain in 5 seconds went from, ooh, a first down to our season is over because he just took a sip of a water bottle. And I blame the NFL.
As you should. I think that's the correct call. How worried were you guys late first half, early third quarter? There's the block kick. They score some points. Your punter just presumably got hurt. Bernard is out. So you're down to your third and fourth cornerbacks. Linebacker injuries. Diggs goes down for a little bit. It felt like the sky was falling in that moment. I got worried they're about to build it.
It wasn't the Diggs one as much. I know he got leveled on that play, but by all accounts of the fall, it didn't seem terrible, which I know seems crazy to say from the 300s. But the Bernard injury, I think, really silenced the crowd for a while. I think everyone was so fucking bummed about that. And it really like I said, that and like not that the Steelers ever really came close again. But the Bernard injury mixed with them kind of scoring points, everyone was like, this fucking blows, dude. Now we're down to like literally 9 of the 11 starters. Shout out Sean McDermott. 9 of the 11 starters were out or out from the beginning of the season. You're like, what defense is even playing at this point? Like, it's a joke.
If they go on a run, McDermott will have earned all the accolades that he gets.
He makes mistakes. He does some weird things. He's tight, but man, does he like I was not worried to answer your question on whether or not I was worried because it was Mason Rudolph and my guy Sean McDermott was on the sidelines clearing it out. So
Right.
hey,
And
two straight weeks.
when have we ever lost to a backup quarterback at all?
Mm,
I mean, I can't think of 3 to 4 instances this year where that's happened.
no. Doesn't come nothing comes to mind.
A shout out to one of Kyle's favorite players, AJ Klein. AJ Klein and Elam both got a shout out by Josh Allen in the locker room of like AJ Klein was pretty much on the couch a couple weeks ago, comes in as like the starting linebacker and, holds his own.
He came off like he was going to retire. He had decided he was going to hang it up. He had his family packed to go to Key West. I guess they're going to drive down to Key West. And all I can think of is AJ Klein's kids rooting against him so they can go down to Key West. I don't know how old his kids are, but they're like, oh, I hope dad loses so I can go fishing. That would suck. Because, they go on a nice vacation as an NFL player. So that would blow. Instead, they had to watch their dad in the
Yeah.
snow. I don't know if they were at the game, but poor AJ
I
Klein's kids.
besides the one guy, Greg, again, this was just the Pittsburgh fans around us and that were kind of tailgating near us. Way, way more playful than the Cincinnati fans from last year. The Cincinnati fans were pieces of shit last year, like starting fights in the stands, like legit just being pieces of shit. None of the Pittsburgh fans were terrible. They were either playful or just didn't talk shit. From my experience from the fans last year to this year and the different fan bases. So
I
with
noticed a
that,
lot of shit talk in the parking lots on the walk up. Like there was a lot of like yelling back and forth, but kind of in a playful way, nothing really
Mhm.
bad. I just think what were they gonna do? They got they got curb stomped so fast. It was 21-0 before anything that would just take away. What are you going to talk shit about? The block field goal, you're losing by 3 scores. So I think that kind of probably quashed a little bit of shit talking because their
Well,
spirits were defeated.
well, maybe speaking of, I mean, Kyle loves talking about special teams and
Hmm.
what's going on this year. Should we be worried about Bass? He's been solid for the first part. He's been more than solid for the first part of his career and has the yips right now. Uh, Game on the line. Are you worried with him going back there?
Um, yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried. I'd be worried regardless. He could be 50 for 50 on the year. It doesn't mean this one I wouldn't be worried because anything can happen. But yeah, he's definitely having a down year. I was excited when Sam Martin hurt his hamstring, not because he got injured, but I was like, this is awesome. We might have to not punt. And I was kind of excited for that. Then he came back and he actually punted amazing. So like
Yeah.
it's tough to hate a guy when he's like doing a good job, but you have to remember the bad times. Like we've said before,
It's a great
you
philosophy.
get
I'm like,
hit.
always remember the bad times.
You get
You
hit, you
have to
can't.
remember the bad times.
Listen, I'm not going to let this guy play me, okay? He hurt me for 2 years sucking.
Yeah.
6 games in a row isn't going to make me forgive 2 years.
Wow. He's
Now,
trying
Bass,
to.
on the other hand, Bass has what? 4 years of great play, 1 year of bad. I can be like, well, maybe he's addicted to pills this year. So once he goes to rehab,
Yeah.
he'll be back to what he was. I'm just
Oh,
guessing. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm just throwing out scenarios. I'm not saying he is or isn't. He looks a little sleepy at times, but whatever. You know what I mean?
It was crazy that missed, was it like 23-yarder, which like it was honestly like if Greg had kicked a
Wait,
field
did he
goal.
miss a field goal? I'm not going to lie to you. I did leave at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I was supposed to have a pretty important day today that ended up getting canceled anyways. But I left in the beginning of the fourth quarter when this they went up 28-11 or something like or 10 or something, and I was like, I gotta go. I can't stay out till 1 a.m. But so
Typical
I don't know what
soft
happened.
fan.
I
Mm.
hear you, and I just want to say to all the fan out there listening to us, this should be the last year where I leave early in games. I've
Wow.
said this fall was a little hectic for me, but going forward, I should be good. You should not expect any Kyle Turner leaving games at halftime or the third
Hectic,
quarter.
hectic fall. He was trying to chase that masturbation record, as you all know. Came close and, is buckling down for 2024. And I think you'll get there. I do believe in
I
you.
tell you what, I'm up to a good start. I know that. I started cutting out eating, and that takes some time away.
It ain't November, let's put it that way. Uh, the Shakir touchdown, just friggin' amazing. How cool
Yeah.
would it be if he just kept, like a player's really good, and then you look at the moments that stood out where it was just signs they were going to be elite. The Diggs bomb in Minnesota when he catches that, even though it was kind of like a blown coverage by the Saints on that play, but like, oh yeah, he was always that good. But there's a moment where you learn, like Stevie Johnson when he was just a fifth round pick or something like that out of
I
Kentucky.
think seventh.
Seventh or okay, I know he was a late round
Could be
pick, but
wrong. But
he just started he had the drop and everyone, but then he just started doing these things where it's like, oh, maybe he's not bad. And it's like, wow, he's one of the best wideouts in the league now. Like, you wonder if Shakir like is having a little coming out party here. I would love it if Gabe Davis just took an extra week to rest because I don't mind more
I mean,
more
good at
Shakir.
run blocking, Greg.
I don't want them running the ball next week. I want them unless it's Allen
yeah.
doing 52-yard touchdown runs. That's
I
the only running I
said
want.
I said last week that I was like, it could just be eye test. I don't know, but it seems like the offense uh, is a little more in sync without Davis out there, and even so, the offense is the exact same with Davis out there, and that is enough to be like, why are we rely? If you can't take, if your number two wide receiver doesn't make your offense better, what is it for? Your number one and number two should make your offense better, and if one leaves, your offense should get slightly worse. That's
Well,
what my brain thinks.
I
yeah.
agree with it.
Well, you said it last week, and I called you a fucking idiot, and I stand by it.
Whoa.
Totally fair.
What is going
A
on?
couple a couple other news and notes. That was definitely a fumble. The one that was not overturned.
Mhm.
Now, I think this is what happened. Now I don't know rules. I want you to know
Yes.
that.
Famously.
As you could have
That's a good
guessed.
caveat before you start
Yes.
talking about a rule.
I would
Now,
love to have they have Gene Statutory on and then Kyle. And now I'm gonna say, I think it's a fumble. I don't know these rules, but
here's what they were reviewing. This was, I think, what they were showing in the stadium. So what I deduced, that's when you take two poops.
oh,
I can't
Lord.
believe
That's pretty
My
good.
God.
pretty
That's
good.
pretty good, Craig.
Let's get to
I
trivia.
was-
Let's get to trivia.
I said that, and in my head, I go, play cool, Kyle. That was really good. They're gonna congratulate you soon. Now that guy fumbled. That was not refutable. That guy was a fumble. But he then rolled out of bounds, and while he was out of bounds, the ball touched his helmet. So therefore, the ball was dead there. That's why it was not called a fumble. They're saying it hit
Yes.
off his helmet while he was
Yeah.
out of bounds before Spector recovered. There you go. That's
Yeah.
why it wasn't our ball.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I was watching the TV. They explained.
Oh, I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
at the game with all the other rich people, right, Greg?
That's right. That's right. Money bags.
Um, and another because we don't
Mhm.
bring him up enough. Well, that's not true. We bring him up the appropriate amount of times. But Reggie Gilliam deserves praise for pushing Allen on that 4th and 1. That was a game breaking. Like we needed that first down, and he basically just tossed Allen in the air a little bit to make that second effort count.
Yeah.
And credit for McDermott for going for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
He
Now,
did it
Greg,
again.
did you see during that, or right after they didn't get that on 3rd and 1, the offense stayed on the field, but Sam Martin ran onto the field, and the crowd was like, "No fucking way, dude!" And then he ran back. I think he just kind of ran out there assuming they were going to punt because no one left.
What I heard afterwards is the tight ends that were on the field, like for it, the tight ends that came onto the field were the ones that would have come on for like the punt thing, and that's why
So
he went out.
he just was like, "Oh, they're going on. I'm going."
Yeah,
on.
it wasn't like Allen saying, "Screw you, McDermott, we're going for this," or the fans convincing them to go for it.
No, yeah, he just did the wrong thing.
It was funny though. Yeah.
We should get to our sponsor. Kyle, would you like to talk about our sponsor that we have here on In the
Yeah.
Hunt?
So everyone loves it's a great place to go. So for the new year, our sponsor is Trader Joe's groceries.
Don't do that.
Could you imagine if we got a national Trader Joe's?
Trader Joe's, the most like very calm, progressive superstore or grocery store, and they're like, "Let me reach out to In the Hunt." Those guys don't say anything too bad.
They have ads now.
I don't think we say anything too bad.
They have ads now where the best food items on sale are their boners of the week. These eggplants are our boners of the week. Only 69 cents a pound. All right, do the real one, Turner.
All right. Greg, you like music?
Love it. I'm
reading
listening.
a script here. Greg,
go
you
on.
Like music? Sean, you've heard instruments before, right?
I have.
Now imagine those things combined.
I can't.
You get a band.
Whoa.
You ever hear the Beatles? So they have records, revolver records, if you will. That's what happens when you play a record. It goes around revolving.
And one of the Beatles,
Yeah, I was going to say, did you do this on purpose?
Died.
Kyle?
Oh, sorry. What?
One of their album names was
Revolver Records.
That's not why it's called that, though. Get back on track.
All right. So if you've been listening the past season, or if you're new, we have a sponsor. It's a local business by the name of Revolver Records. They sell albums in the form of records. And people like records now, and that's awesome. So if you're looking for a record, they have 4 locations, 2 in the city of Buffalo, one on Hurdle Avenue, ever hear of it? And the other one in the Elmwood Village, trendy and cool. If you don't like venturing into the city because you're afraid of it and you want to stay out in the suburbs, good news for you. Williamsville has a location and East Aurora has a location. You can't get safer than those two places.
No, there's
Go over
Starbucks
there.
nearby for safe
There's
zones.
there's
Yes.
Starbucks. It's amazing. So you can go into any of those locations, buy a record, see what the hype is. They have anything. They have records from the 30s of the 19s. They have old. He showed me. No, I mean not actually. It's just recordings from like the 30s, and then they have like the newest albums you can imagine. Rap, rock, country, anything you want, they have it. If it's on Spotify, it's on vinyl, and Phil, the owner of Revolver Records, has it.
But Kyle, what if you don't live in the city of Buffalo?
Well, they have a website, and you
Whoa.
can go to it's
Ink.
revolverrecordsinc.com. That's INC, not INK. Greg. revolverrecordsinc.com. You can go there. You can look at their catalog online. You can order one. And if you don't want to pay full price, you can use a discount code free of charge. You don't even need to buy our Patreon to get it. I'm telling you it right now.
Yep.
It's In the Hunt 10.
Yes.
In the Hunt 10.
Okay.
As you're cashing out, you get 10% off. That's free money.
Yeah.
Free money.
You did it.
And then you get your record and you DJ it up.
Great ad read. Also, if you want to support the pod in other ways, which I get dozens of emails a day, how can I support the pod? Want to support the pod? Love the pod. How can I support it? Well, you could go to patreon.com/inthehunt and subscribe. We got a bunch of we do 2 bonus episodes a month. And here's what's most important. For as little as $1 a month, that's $12 a year, you can support us. And Greg has said last episode, if we get a bunch of new, at least $1 a month patron members, he will write a Bill's erotic fan fiction story. We got a couple in from last episode. We need a couple more. So sign up $1 a month, $12. You won't even think about it. And then we will all get to experience a hot and steamy Bill's erotic fan fiction written by Greg, and it will help Kyle get to that masturbation goal. So it will help everyone all over. It's a win-win-win.
Maybe we live read it on a Patreon episode.
Ooh. Are there characters?
Screenplay.
Can I be one of the characters?
We didn't get the patrons yet, so it's not. There's thoughts. It's developed. I'm ready to write it, but
all right. I'm going to steal my mom's credit card and sign up 12 times.
And speaking of the Patreon, Derek LeClaire is our Joe B. Our Joe B gets a blurb every episode, and Derek said, finding out the game was being postponed turned me into someone's 65-year-old uncle, but in hindsight, it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. That weather would have equaled out those teams.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? I think it means that,
I think he was calling us soft.
You hear about the postponement and you get a little knee jerk, like, why are they postponing? But then you realize, oh yeah, it kind of makes sense. I think that's what
I think the delay made me an insane person, and I was so nervous and didn't know what to do with myself that I ended up going to the game, which was good. Like walking for an hour and a half on my crippled feet was like, it made me not think about like wanting the game to start. So that was a good idea.
Yeah, it wasn't too cold in there either. I thought it was. I mean, the tailgate was a little rough. We have at our tailgate we have a canopy set up, and we put walls along the canopy, so it's 3 sides. It's always pretty good. We have a fire right outside, so it like actually keeps the wind pretty good. We were one of the. Now we've been doing this for like a decade of like tailgating. We know how to tailgate. We have a lot of good tailgate equipment. One gust of wind took our entire setup and flew it 50 feet, and we just left it. Like the amount of people that like came from other tailgates and were like, let's get it. It was all dented. We were like, it's gone. Leave it. And then we just sat there around our fire in sub-zero temperatures.
That's funny. Real quick, because I think like it was a disaster, and it wasn't that cold considering you were literally standing in a snow pile. Like your feet were 2 feet in snow at your seat. It wasn't that cold. And that was cold, but I expected it to be colder and still went for some reason. But they still cleared a lot of snow under. There was just nowhere to go. So if you're like fascinated with the fact that the snow was still there, it just was a logistical nightmare. I'm actually impressed that they got as much snow gone as they did. The Bills also had the idea to do the shuttle thing where you park at the mall, the McKinley Mall near the Steers, because it's abandoned and empty. Everyone parked there and they had shuttle buses there. So I showed up around 2:30, got on a bus, and like that seems like plenty of time just to get to the game. I can't tailgate and stuff, but it was a nightmare because there's just no parking. So Abbott and McKinley were gridlocked. No one was moving anywhere. So the shuttles, they expected to like pick up fans, drop them off, go back, get more fans, drop them off. There's no way those shuttles did more than one run because they pulled out and didn't move. We had to beg our driver to let us out to just walk to the stadium where I would have never gotten to the game in time.
So
it was
how'd
a
you
good
get back to
idea.
your car?
I got a ride. Yeah, and I think they started like I don't know how bad that was afterwards. I can't imagine. But the problem was all of the cars on the road needed somewhere to park and had nowhere to go. The lots were full. There was no grass lots. There was nothing. So everyone was just kind of standing there wondering what the hell to do. It wasn't the Bills' fault. And you know me, I want to like give the Bills crap at any turn, but it was just not a good situation. Hopefully they have a better idea for next week. I won't be there, but for the people who do, for the Kyles of the world.
Like I say,
I won't
it's
be
good.
there.
It's good that they put a new stadium in the snow belt of Buffalo.
I don't even care. Whatever. It's 8, 9 weeks a year. More if there's the playoffs. It's just not a big deal. Get over it.
Well, sorry that I care about your safety, Greg.
I'm
sorry.
reacting
Hey,
to everyone
sorry.
else. Apology accepted. Apology accepted.
Let's do trivia.
Oh.
Today's jersey, get yourself an ex-Steeler, Tyler Matkevich.
Who might be starting next week.
How funny that like every linebacker was hurt and they're like, well, we still can't use that guy.
Yeah.
Like,
come on, he's a special teams guy. Let's be real.
Greg, you've won 4 in a row.
Fuck you.
I am red hot.
Yeah, so let's see if you could keep that up. We'll start with Kyle here. Kyle, first question. The last time the Bills played the Steelers in the playoffs, who was the Steelers quarterback? Was it Cordell Stewart, Neil O'Donnell, Terry Bradshaw, or Bubby Brister?
What was the question the last time? What?
The Bills played the Steelers in the playoffs. Who was their quarterback?
Okay.
Who are the names? Cordell Stewart.
Neil O'Donnell, Terry Bradshaw, Bubby Brister.
I'm going to say complete guess, Neil O'Donnell.
Okay, Greg?
This would have been the Bruce Smith flu game. Like he got the flu and it was like a big deal, I think. And it's definitely not Cordell because that was too late. And it definitely wasn't Bradshaw. So it's close. I'll say Bubby.
You are both incorrect.
What?
Actually, no, sorry. Kyle's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you said
that makes me
that
question. That makes me question every time I ever lost, and I'll never believe it.
I forgot what you said. It was January 1996, the divisional round. We lost 40-21, and Jim Kelly threw for 135 yards and 3 picks.
Perfect.
That's a rough game.
Everyone gave Bruce Smith crap because he didn't get a flu shot and he got the flu. Like there was a big deal made about him not getting a flu shot and then he got the flu before the game. But it's not his fault that Kelly threw 3 picks.
Well, and you know what? I got my flu shot this year. Still got the flu.
Yeah. Well, Bruce Smith didn't want the microchips in his body, even in the 80s.
Blame him. They lost to the Steelers because the whole team had a bunch of microchips. That's how the Steelers win every year. There's all the microchips that are controlling the other players. Think about it.
Greg, question 2. You need this one. What number is higher? Tyler Matkevich high school touchdowns or Stephon Diggs NFL touchdowns?
Ooh.
Oh, this means Tyler Matkevich played. I mean, probably not like touchdowns as a linebacker. That'd be amazing if he had like 56 linebacker touchdowns. So I had no idea he scored touchdowns. This makes this harder, but obviously there has to be some. But just on the off chance he scored zero, I'm going to say Diggs.
Okay, go with Diggs. Kyle, what do you think?
It wasn't even a like McCavich times two. It's just straight up touchdowns. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm also gonna say Diggs. I
Oh,
thought it
he's
was Diggs
drafting
before
me.
Greg said Diggs, and because I mean, high school running backs. I assume he was a running back. He's like 5'8", but high school kids score like 300 touchdowns and go like work at Geico. So I can't even imagine what someone made it to the NFL scoring. Maybe he scored like 50, but how many does Diggs have a year? I'm gonna go Diggs.
Okay. You both went Diggs, and you are both correct. Stefan Diggs, 67 NFL touchdowns, and Makevich in high school had 59 touchdowns.
That
I
was
almost changed my
close.
answer. Thank God I didn't.
Question 3, we
Still
have to
alive.
start with Kyle here.
Kyle, yeah.
Kyle, last question, tiebreaker if necessary. What number is higher? Tyler Matkevich career earnings, Greg Rousseau career earnings, or Niam Hines career earnings? Who has made more money thus far in their NFL careers? Matkevich, Rousseau, or Hines?
See, Medikevich has been in the league for a while. Um, that's the only thing. Rousseau, I think, is pennies. I mean, NFL pennies. Um, I'm gonna go Hines. Oof,
Mm.
Hines.
Going Hines.
It's not Rousseau, still the rookie deal, I think. Um, so it'd be McCavich, but I can't say the same answer. The problem is McCavich was the answer for he wasn't the answer for touchdown, so maybe it's for money. McCavich, Tyler McCavich. That's the answer. By
Kyle
Tyler.
goes 3 for 3.
Damn it.
He's back
Nice. I
on
was
the
playing you,
winning
Greg. I knew the
side.
answer.
This is the first of 17 losses in a row. I can feel it.
I knew the answer because I know Niam Hines, like Colts gave him like a big contract.
Yeah. I'll bet.
Hines has around 17 and a half, Matkevich 14 and a half, and Rousseau 9.
That was way
Oh.
closer than I thought.
And now we have to talk about the next playoff game, guys. We all knew this was coming. Kansas City, this time we're home. Mahomes' first road playoff game. Funny how these two teams got so much shit during the regular season. Deservedly so, but when it comes down to it, the good QBs are going to get their teams, far. So Buffalo versus Kansas City. This is what's all been building up to. We beat them in the regular season. They beat us in the playoffs. We got a ton of injuries, Benford, Johnson, Bernard. Maybe we get Douglas or Dodson back. Maybe a Davis. But offense mostly healthy, defense banged up. Kyle, do you have a key to the game? We need some help here.
I got a key to the game.
Okay.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
She's coming to Buffalo. Okay. I assume.
Mhm.
Why wouldn't she? Now, she's not used to.
I can give you a couple of reasons on why she wouldn't.
She's not used to how can you say how shitty our stadium is. She's been to nice stadiums. She's sitting in boxes. I don't even think our boxes have heat. Okay. She's gonna die in a suite. All right.
Okay.
But that's after the game.
Okay.
The key to the game, there's a conspiracy going around about Taylor Swift. Okay.
Oh,
There's a
boy.
conspiracy that her dad, Mr. Swift, okay, he when she first started music and no one heard of her yet, he bought like 50,000 copies of her music on iTunes. And so it skyrocketed to like number one. And everyone was like, ooh, who's this Taylor Swift girl who's got the number one song and the number one album? Then now she's a billionaire. So
that's exactly what happened with our podcast and Mr. Bout.
That's a good return on investment, by the way.
That's the first 2 years when Sean was begging all of our friends to go leave iTunes reviews.
Hey, you could still do an iTunes review. I think those are still a thing.
Oh yeah, I don't know anyone who's on iTunes anymore, but maybe
Apple
LimeWire
Music. You know what
too.
I'm saying?
Okay.
Apple Music.
So I think we get her dead. Now, this might not be true. I heard this. This might not be true, but I think we pay her dad, who can easily be bought because he's a finance bro. We pay her dad to just say it was true, takes down her whole empire. Travis Kelsey, so distraught that her girlfriend sucks in real life, or she doesn't. I don't mind her. I think she's actually pretty talented, but then he sucks. And seeing that we don't have a middle linebacker to cover him anymore could get pretty dicey out there. So we really need to make this happen.
You know what? And why we bring up the Taylor Swift of it all, can I just say this? If you complain vehemently about Taylor Swift, you're a fucking loser. You
About in
fucking
football or in general?
in foot within the football of like they're
Okay.
always showing Taylor
Mhm.
Swift. It's like, yeah, she's the world's most popular entertainer, and they show her like 5 times for 3 seconds. Does that really bother you that much? Like, what do you
Yeah.
think that they'd be showing if she wasn't there? Whatever the Kansas City equivalent is of the Niagara Falls shot. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like, what are you missing out on? Do you think they're going like, well, we have the secret to everlasting life, or we could show Taylor Swift on that? Like, it's
Yeah.
so such a non
Sorry you missed
thing.
you that touchdown pass. We were showing Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
What
like
what
it's not
what's the
affecting.
alternative? They're going to show the Kansas City version of Patrick Hammer. Like it's just
Yeah,
who else do you want them to show?
exactly.
Yeah.
They're gonna show wings being made. You really miss that you're not seeing the third wings being made shot. Like,
And no one cares when they show Jack Nicholson 5 times when there's a Laker game. Like,
yeah, or you with the Detroit game, Eminem was always on the TV. Just like I get it. Maybe they show her a couple times too much, but it lasts 2 seconds. Like, get a fucking better opinion to scandalize your Facebook friends, you dickless losers.
the Venn diagram of people complaining about Taylor Swift and throwing snowballs at Pittsburgh Steelers during the game is a perfect circle.
hmm
Mhm.
People.
That's true.
I yelled at some people.
You yelled at
And
people.
thought I was going to get my ass kicked, but it didn't happen.
I love that.
My only complaint about showing Taylor Swift too much is I would rather have some of that time dedicated to showing the owner of the team that's losing. I love sad owners. The Eagles
Yes.
owner
No,
last
that's
night,
good.
the Eagles are so bad, and they just kept showing that owner, and he just looked so mad. Sad billionaires are
With
my
the Jerry
favorite kind of
Jones.
billionaires. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he looked just like a broken man. So that's more fun than Taylor
Yeah.
Swift. But I don't
That's
care.
I don't care about them showing Taylor Swift. I don't care that they're dating. Like I said, I don't hate her music. I don't hate her. As long
Kyle's
as
rooting for
they show
love.
the
and and,
game.
and listen,
Yeah.
when Kyle starts dating Rihanna, we're gonna cut to her a couple times during the
Yeah.
podcast. With
Oh,
that's
she's
just as
making an appearance on the fucking pod, and you guys will be totally fine with that.
all right, so what do we think about this game? Kansas
It,
City, it's what everything was building up to.
don't you almost want to withhold? Like, I want to end the pod right here and be like, we'll come back on Friday when I get the injury report.
Mhm.
Because right
Hmm.
now they're playing the complete second string defense. And it's almost comical. So like you almost like if Razul Douglas comes back and Taylor Rapp comes back, and as of right now, Bernard didn't break anything. If he's able to come back, um, there's some semblance of it. If what's his name? What's the other linebacker?
Phelan Spector.
No, not the
Dotson.
good one.
Oh, Dodson.
Dotson.
Yes.
If
He should
Dotson
be
comes
back.
back, now you got four very good starters coming back. It's a whole new outlook. But if you're trotting out Dorian Williams and he's got to face the best tight end of all time, I'm a little nervous.
I have two thoughts. Wouldn't it be better if all the injured Bills remained completely still? Like not walking. Like I see them walking around. And I was like, how could your knee heal? How can your ankle heal when you're walking on it? Why don't they lay completely motionless in water? Wouldn't that help them heal faster? Isn't there something to that? Like they should not have
Yeah.
to eat. They
Like
shouldn't have to
Starship Troopers.
someone should collect their leavings and bring it away. They should remain motionless as much as possible so all the little tissue fissures can like heal. So someone get on that, make sure that they don't move at all. The thing
Dr.
about
Greg
Dorian,
over there
yeah,
getting
so
messages from Aaron Rodgers.
that's right. Hey, oh, you've heard of him. Yeah, he's got some great stuff on this. I saw his podcast. The other thing is the Dorian Williams thing, the way players do just kind of come out and do well out of nowhere. I think of like Taron Johnson, he was young, but he picked it up quick and he really started to make a name for himself, like obviously with the 101-yard return in that Ravens game. But Dorian Williams is young, so they don't want him in there because he didn't learn it. But now he's been interspersed in games more. He's had more practice time. If he's practicing as the starter, he'll get that rep time. He's super like talented. He's like a really good athlete. So well, maybe he just steps up and has a good game. I'm not as worried about the linebackers as I am the Bedford. I don't want Kyer Elam. I know he had a big interception, but I don't want him out there at all. Please
I
no.
uh I
Please
think
no.
I feel like it's all going to come down to what version of the offense do we see? Offense is pretty much fully healthy, and the Kansas City defense is good this year. Can the offense score, 28 points at
Mm.
home against the Chiefs defense? If they can, you feel a lot better of maybe the defense getting a break here or two, and then just it almost comes down to last possession maybe. But I don't know. It's tough.
I mean, listen, if you don't have, I withhold my PTSD or I hold my PTSD in my head pretty hard. So, like, yeah, if Kansas City, even a lesser Kansas City, this is the worst Kansas City has looked since drafting Mahomes. But there's still Kansas City, and that
Yeah.
scares the shit out of me.
That Miami game never even looked close. It was just Kansas City
No.
the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
Miami
also,
looks
Kansas City didn't
Miami
look
looked like
great
they
in that
did not
game
want to.
either.
Yeah, Miami looked like they did not want to play football. So I don't. I think of the games that they played, like losing to the Raiders, and they've had bad games. They're just not as good as they were. So hopefully they think they're fixed, and then they go out and prove that they're not. But yeah, I don't take that Miami game as a good gauge.
I'm fine. I hope McDermott is sitting there looking at his entire second and third string defense. And his first thought is we have to put up 50 points minimum. Like I hope he's not sitting in defensive meeting being like, now how can I scheme around these guys' weaknesses and strengths? I need him being like, it's not
Well, I
up
hope
to
he's
them.
doing that too. I hope he's also doing
I
that.
don't think it meant. I think he needs to fully be like, listen, this is this. If we're gonna make a run, it's the offense. They need
Yeah.
to put up 50. Worry about putting up 50. I don't. I defense. We'll just run the defense we've been running. I just put up 50. You have to put up 50. Don't ever take the foot off the gas in the
Don't punt.
playoffs. Put
Don't punt.
up put up 75, put up 100, no matter how disrespectful it is. It could be 75-0 with 5 minutes left. I it's the playoffs. You have to score as many points as humanly possible the whole time. And
I love it.
that's my Al Pacino speech to Sean McDermott.
I'm
Any
hopeful.
given Sunday, Monday, or Saturday, whenever the game's played.
You just beat them with your injury depleted team, without having Milano and stuff like that. You beat them on their turf, and now you're hosting. The games after that, they beat the Patriots by 10, and who couldn't? And I want to say like their offense wasn't even that good in that game. They lost to the Raiders and fucking Aiden Hutchinson, who didn't complete a pass in the last three quarters. They beat the Bengals without Joe Burrow by a touchdown. They beat the Chargers when all their starters were rested, so that doesn't matter. And then they beat a Dolphin team that had no interest in not being there. So I don't know, man. I hate how good I feel. I want this game
Oh,
to be played tomorrow, just because I can't stand waiting for it. I'm so glad it's already Tuesday, and we'll get the injury report on Wednesday. Like, hopefully this is back to normal. Forecast looks like it'll be the same game, maybe with hopefully less
No.
snow, but who gives a shit? The field looked great. Sit in your snow and shut up, and just enjoy the Bills beating them. So hopefully that's
I like it. Greg filled me with optimism. I think the Bills win 54-10.
You think that Tyler Bass is going to get that many extra points?
Any prediction you guys want to go on the limb with or no?
No, I think that they'll win by a touchdown. I'm just hoping
Okay.
that's the case. But no, they're never going to win. Like they're not going to win this game. We all know that. But I feel good. But it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I think they sneak Tyreek Hill back into the building, throw a different number on him, and they score 51 points, and the Bills scored 10.
Oh, inverse of mine.
Inverse, yeah, that's right. With fewer extra points. All right.
Well, that's our episode. Thanks for listening. Go sign up for the Patreon. I want to read that Greg erotic fan fiction. Patreon.com/inthehunt. $1 a month. And we'll see you next week after the big Chiefs game, unless you guys have any final things you want to plug.
No, I have to go back to work.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Just have fun, everybody.
Hey, just have fun, everybody. Sweet out.
Sweet out.
The Bills won.